Hey guys, how are you? It is week 2 in forgiveness, the month of February, and a couple of things have happened this week, so this is going to be a different format than all of the other videos. And I am coming to you doing this video without hair and makeup because I just want to be honest and I want to be real. I don't want to pretend that I have it all together when I don't. I am learning, right along with you guys, and so this is just my way of making sure that I'm being as real as possible. So the first thing that happened this week was that I really struggled with this topic. So the way that I structured forgiveness was that this week 2, was going to be about God forgiving us first, because we can't give what we don't have. If I'm not forgiven, then I can't forgive you. So I had this whole whiteboard of notes and definitions, of course, and all these things written out on the whiteboard but it just wasn't coming together, and it just didn't feel right, and I was really struggling with this topic. So the second thing that happened this week was that a person said to me that I'm not qualified to be doing the content in these videos. They said that it looked like I was trying to be a pastor, and that I do not have a seminary degree, and so therefore I'm not qualified to be doing these videos. So I really had to think about that, and it took me aback because I was already struggling with the topic, and then now I'm getting feedback saying that I'm not qualified. And so as I'm thinking about all this and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, the deadline is getting closer and closer. And I had I had made a commitment to myself that in 2019, I was going to make 52 videos, 1 video per week, in an effort to support the journal, Write Your Life with Grace, that I published. And that I was going to, just make that happen, one video per week. And so the deadline is today. And so it was getting closer and closer, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? This isn't coming together, and now I'm getting feedback that I'm not really qualified. And so in my heart of hearts, I had to stop and take a beat and think about, okay, well, what was I trying to do in the first place? And in my heart of hearts, I was just trying to simply come up with not come up with, because the character traits that we're talking about are not new, but I was trying to gather these emotional and spiritual tools, these life skills, these character traits, in a way that is palatable, that hopefully that we can all use in order to make our relationships better. Because our families, some of our families and some of our relationships, there's just so much chaos and confusion. And our political climate, there's so many angry people and yelling at each other. And on social media, there's, everybody is criticizing everything. And I'm just so tired of it. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really tired of all of that. So in my heart of hearts, I wrote the journal, and I'm making these videos as a way to be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. And I really wanted to come to you in a real way, and just to have these tools and these skills in order to do life better, so that it's not so chaotic and so confusing and so painful. That was my intent. So as I'm thinking about this topic of forgiveness and about how God forgives us first, now all of a sudden, when I'm not feeling qualified, and then this person is telling me that I'm not qualified, now I'm second guessing everything, and now I am wondering if maybe they're right and maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe it's not helpful. But I am determined to keep my commitment. I'm determined to fail forward, and I'm going to fail with one foot in front of the other, as opposed to failing by quitting. Because another purpose for these videos was to hone my craft, and to figure out what my voice is, and to figure out an audience, and to solidify the content and the message, that I'm trying to create in a way that is helpful, and that brings insight and hopefully some wisdom, and hopefully somebody is being helped by all of this. So I realize that when we get into the arena, that we're going to, you know, get criticism, and I'm completely fine with that. It has taken me aback a minute. I'm going to have to think about it. But like I said, I am perfectly willing to. I know that when we start off doing things, and I know that when we start off with a project and we make a commitment to ourselves, like, oh, I'm going to do this, it takes practice, and we never do anything right the first time around. We just don't. It takes practice and practice and practice and practice. And I'm probably making all kinds of mistakes in these, and I'm not getting it right yet. I get that, and I'm okay with practicing in front of you, and I'm okay with learning this together, because I want to fail forward, and I don't want to give up on my mission. So for the topic for this week, that God has to forgive us first before we can forgive each other. I know that has to happen. That's a transaction, because I can't, just like I can't walk into a bank and say, I know that I have all this debt on my credit card that I owe you, and I'm going to forgive myself of this debt. It doesn't work that way, right? I need someone else to forgive me. And so I need God to forgive me first, so that I am forgiven, so that I can forgive you. So, in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I'm going to say about that, because I need to figure out, I need to keep my deadline, and I need to figure out the rest of it, if I'm being helpful, or if I'm qualified or not qualified. I'm just going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to figure this out as I go. So for the 3 of you that have been faithful watchers, thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully this is a little bit helpful. So yeah, there you go. Failing forward. I'll see you guys next week in week 3 of forgiveness. All right. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.